Good morning, everyone. I'm Brian Wilson, Burnett County Judge. I now call this our Burnett County Commissioners Court meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. We are at 607 Vanderveer Street in Burnett, Texas. The time is now 9:03. I call agenda item number 2, the invocation and pledges. We'll begin our meeting with prayer, and then we'll say, please join me in the pledges to the flags. Thank you. Heavenly Father, thank you for this day. Thank you for your grace and mercy on our Burnett County. Just ask you to be with us, especially this body up here as we make decisions, and have your grace and your wisdom to conduct our affairs in honesty, integrity, and with your grace. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, I call agenda item number 3, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.007 and the Burnett County Commissioners Court Rules of Decorum. Any person may make comment on any item not appearing on the agenda. Any comments made will not be addressed by this Commissioners Court during the public comment agenda item. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person. Does anybody wish to make a public comment for an item not on the agenda? Okay, close public comment. I call agenda item number 4, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the burn ban for the unincorporated areas of Burnett County. Don't see our emergency management coordinator here today, but I don't know that anything's changed. We're just getting a lot drier. So
Yeah, Judge, no real change except the KBDI continues to climb. As of yesterday, it's 463, which is up 11 points from the day previous. So no shock that we're dry.
Okay. All right, we'll skip on this item. No need to take any action. I call agenda item number 5, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding budget interdepartmental line item transfers. Road and Bridge Precinct 4, transfer $1,800 from operating supplies, Fund 340, 6140, 3300 to contract labor, Fund 340, 6140, 4920 to cover shortage of work on the County Road 121A. Bertram Library transferring $382 from conference dues training, Fund 200, 6400, 4270, and $217 and $217.42 from operating supplies, Fund 26400, 3300 for a total of $599 to machine equipment, Fund 26500, 5750 to purchase patron self-checkout computers. Is there any public comment on this agenda item? Okay, close public comment. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Luther has moved. Is there a second? Commissioner Collier, second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 6, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the authorization of payment of claims previously approved by the county auditor. Should have your expense reports in there. I think this is a really light
Yeah, it's
one,
pretty
just
short
kind of
one.
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Byerly has moved. Commissioner Luther's. Any public comment on this agenda item? Close public comment. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 7, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding invoices without purchase orders or contracts as required under Local Government Code 113-601, District Attorney's Office for travel expenses related to the prosecutor trial skills course in an amount not to exceed $1,504.95.
Move to approve.
Okay. Any
Second.
public, Byerly has moved. Commissioner Luther has seconded. Any public comment? Close public comment. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. I call agenda item number 8. Wait a minute. It's up here. Okay. 8, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action on setting a date and time to hold a public meeting, hold a public hearing on the FY27 budget, and authorize Burnett County to publish notices in the public hearing, tax rate, and elected officials' salary in local newspapers. Madeline, are you here? What, you want to come up here and just kind of walk us through what the dates are? Sorry to do that to you, but you were talking too fast this morning.
Madeline Parker. So there is a regular session on August 25th, and then a regular session on September 8th. And if the proposed budget is posted on August 14th, y'all can be heard, it can be, the public hearing can be heard either of those days. It just has to be heard within 25 days of when the proposed budget is posted. So it's y'all's choice.
The 25th or the 28th?
25th or the 8th.
Or the
Or the-
September 8th.
Oh, September 8th.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So, and then what about don't run off quite yet. So the posting, once we do a proposed budget, then that leaves the
So once
posting-
y'all decide when the public hearing is going to be, it has to be posted in a local newspaper for 10 days prior to the hearing. It could be posted longer than that, but it's the published to the newspaper for the 10 days of the public hearing that is what's important here. So 25 days within the proposed budget being posted, the hearing has to be heard, and 10 days from when y'all decide prior to the public hearing, it has to be posted in the local newspaper.
So let's just walk through that. So if we have a proposed budget on August 14th, that.
Which
then-
you have to post the proposed budget by the 15th. The 14th is a Friday.
I understand. So the 11th is our next regular meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And we still have a couple departments that'll still have to be heard on the 11th, is that correct?
Yes, you'll have one on the 11th.
One. Okay, we'll have one more left to go.
And then you have a special session set for the 13th as well.
Okay.
So you just have to choose the date for the public hearing today, ideally. Or we also have it on the agenda tomorrow if y'all want to look at your
Well,
schedule.
both of those dates are our normal commissioner court days.
Right, that's
So-
correct.
Either works for me.
Okay. All right, so we can just not take it up today and then finalize it tomorrow. After today, we might have a better idea of where we are on the
Yeah,
budget, okay?
well, it may give you, more time to do the 8th instead of the 25th, because if it has to be posted for 10 days,
The public hearing has to be posted in the newspaper for
I
10
know,
days.
but I'm just saying, if you don't have it out till the 14th, then, and the newspaper then won't run until when?
Well, we just have to post the notice of the hearing. We don't have to post the proposed budget in the newspaper.
Oh, okay, just the date of the hearing.
Oh, I
Yes.
see. So that's the thing, is we have to let the public know
Yes, when
10 or
the,
more days, what day we're going to have our public hearing for the final budget.
Correct.
To adopt the budget and tax rate, correct?
correct.
Okay, all right, thank you, that's clear, that clarifies that. So, any other questions?
If you want to leave that agenda item until we,
Yeah, let's leave it till tomorrow, and I'll work on that and make sure I have a few more, see if there's anything else. Okay. All right, so I'll skip it unless there's an objection, okay? Call agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action for setting the salaries and compensation for the FY27 Burnett County proposed budget regarding the Chief Public Defender, Elections Administrator, and the Chief Magistrate. So you should have in your number 9, in the meeting book today, you should have kind of the layout related to the magistrate and the public defender. I'll just go ahead and say for the record, I did not, the elections administrator started on, I think, July 6th. At the time, and I think it was May, the election commission voted to hire her. They set her salary at the current rate at the step 8. And so I did not call another, I want to tell you right now, I did not call another meeting of the elections commission to deal with that. I just wanted, if you wanted to make some recommendation for a COLA or a step, you can do that, but I didn't call another meeting, nor did I since she had just started in July. And so I can, if you want me to, I can call a meeting to see what the Election Commission wants to do, but I feel like it's so fresh that I didn't really need to do that. So for the elections administrator. So I'll take that one first. That's little II, so number 2. Little Roman number 2. Does anybody want me to do something with the Elections Commission or examine that salary?
Well,
Any further?
is she going to be eligible at least for the COLA?
No, because we've taken the appointed officials off of the COLA and the STEP at a previous meeting. And so that the commissions or boards set their salary.
Okay.
So at this point, my recommendation, since it's a new hire, that she's
Leave it alone.
that we just leave that one alone. She's making $98,642, and but she is highly qualified. She's a great person. But I think, given the freshness of that position, we should just let that one go. So, or leave it as is for FY27. That's. Any comments, objections?
Not on that? No.
Okay, all right. All right, then the next one is we'll take the Chief Public Defender. Yesterday, the regional, the judges on that region, as well as the district judges and myself met. They voted to give the cost of living increase. There is no step, again, for this, so that would be a 4% on that for the Chief Public Defender. And then the Magistrate Board met yesterday, also telephonically, on both these telephonically, and they recommended a cost of living increase as well for the Chief Magistrate. So there might be some people here that want to speak to this, but I just wanted to lay out that at this point, the board, these are only recommendations. There's no direct authority, but other than the recommendation of the judges for Chief Public Defender is a COLA, 4%, and then Chief Magistrate, 4%. Does anybody want to speak on this issue?
So, like on the magistrate, if her staff and the ones under her get a COLA and a STEP, would that create any issues?
I didn't. Brought my cheat book. What's that number?
I don't know the numbers. Same for the public defender, I guess, too. I just want to make sure we're not shooting ourselves in the foot.
So,
Down the road.
Michelle Moore, Chief Public Defender. So our employees would not be under that appointed, is my understanding?
Correct.
And so then they would still be eligible to get the COLA and the steps, and the same would go for magistrate, is my understanding of how this
Yeah,
works.
I think what he's asking is a different question. He's asking,
Okay.
will your, if your, and maybe I'm misunderstood, but what I thought I heard you say is that the chief, the first assistant would pass you up if they got a step in a COLA. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah, I know that's been brought up recently, especially after last year, that, you know, with elected officials getting a decrease in pay, it's starting to create, or it has the potential to create a problem down the road. So I don't want to do that. And so if they're recommending a COLA with no other increase, but everybody else is getting a COLA and a small increase, or an increase, I just want to keep it fair, I guess. Does that make sense?
I think Kristen would be the only one that might be close, but I don't have the numbers in front of me to math it either. But I'm not sure if it does bring her up to that level or not.
And the DA and the county attorney, I know you haven't said them yet, but they're set by statute.
State law has capped me out. I can make no more than I make.
Oh,
So it would take literally an act of the legislature.
and the county attorney has to stay within a parity of that, is that right? Is that what I remember?
Yes. That's correct.
So he's capped out too?
Most likely. I would have to do that.
Wait, say that again?
The county attorney has to stay within a certain percentage of the district attorney?
No,
I thought that's why I got a big raise last year.
no, it was the chief public defender that had to stay in parity. And we were about to provide an appointed official to make more than an elected official, covering many of the same duties.
Oh, I thought it was statute.
Well, the chief public defender is a general policy. As Michelle and I learned yesterday, talking to two different people in the same agency, came up with way different answers. So I've asked them to find the written policy and send it to me.
Oh.
Because, at the time last year, I had a letter from Mr. Colfax. One of the things to keep in mind, I'm getting away from the mic, but one of the things to keep in mind that when we deal with the public defender's expenses, we're 2/3 of it is paid by the state.
Oh, I know, yeah.
And then on top of that, then of the part we pay, there's another, I don't know, what's the combined total of the other two counties is probably, I think it's like 40% for the other two counties.
Correct.
That's not, I think we were 57 something.
Correct.
We're 57% of the amount we pay of that. Does that make sense? So,
Oh, it does, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So the statute that made us move that up was her.
county, was her statute.
Dealt with her.
And then I presented to
Or
the
that
court.
position,
Right,
I
I
should
presented
say.
to the court that we were going to have a disparity
Okay,
between an
right.
appointed official and an elected official that I recommended we address, so,
Right.
okay.
So does the magistrate have that same thing?
No. The magistrate is created in a separate statute, Chapter 54 of the government code, and that's a Burnett specific. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 counties that went to the legislature and had specific magistrate authorities set up. And so, no, there's no comparison.
There's 22 of them now.
There's, sorry, I didn't know.
22?
So, Judge, is the handout that we have or the addendum we have under 9, is that your recommendation? or-
No, I just wanted, right now, the two boards that met yesterday are recommending the current salary for the chief public defender to be provided a COLA, or whatever the county has adopted as a COLA. And then the chief magistrate, they voted to recommend a COLA. That is the recommendation of the two boards that oversee those entities.
Was the step discussed?
It was discussed. But I explained to them that we had removed the step and grade from the appointment, and we just needed them to make a recommendation on either setting the salary or if they chose to go with the COLA. And I told them online that the step didn't apply anymore for appointed officials.
I'll be right back. I was told they can't hear you very well.
Okay. Am I? All right. We'll take just a 2 or 3 minute recess.
Is that better?
Should be.
Here you could hear fine, just when y'all two were talking, y'all were both.
I'm turning my head. Okay.
The rest of it's been fine.
All right, thank you. Try to quit turning my head.
Stop looking at me.
Don't need to take the dividers up.
Yeah, exactly.
Black.
Okay.
Alexa,
What does that ring?
Somebody
It's
backing up
outside.
outside,
Okay. All right.
or a vehicle, I should say.
All right. Any other comment about this agenda item?
So is there a possibility of going beyond the 4% to 6%?
Oh, yes, thank you. The time is now 9:23. We're back on the record. We'll just stop our recess.
Can we go above 4% to the 6% that we had plugged in?
These were just recommendations. So that's, the Commissioners Court is fully responsible for setting these salaries. So, for all three of these, to be clear.
Well, I think a step should be included because I think over time you'll start to create a problem. I'd rather not create a problem with small increases than having a problem and then a big increase.
But those boards are gonna meet every year, right?
Oh,
I mean, they can just say, hey, give them a raise instead of a COLA?
They can
I mean,
recommend, they
set-
can recommend
yeah, they
a
can
raise. Yeah, I want to
recommend
be
a-
clear that they're not, they don't have any authority on the budget side. It's strictly the Commissioners Court.
I understand. It's a recommendation, and I appreciate that, and I appreciate the time they take to do it. I don't want to minimize that at all, but my opinion is that if employees and electeds and get COLAs and steps, then we will create a problem sooner than later by being, I don't know, 2% just seems like 2% now, but in 3 or 4 years, it's a bigger number. And I'm no mathematician. Anyway, that's my opinion.
Well, if it gets close, then the next year they can say, all right, hey, it's getting close.
And they can address
They
that.
can adjust it
Uh-huh.
then, right?
They can, that's correct. And again, you've got, here you've got an elected DA that's capped out. We do give a stipend to the DA like we do the district judges, but that's the same issue, is if you keep giving COLAs, then you can have an appointed official with a fraction of the caseload getting paid higher than a district attorney across 4 counties and with 3 times, generally 2.5, 3 times the caseload. So,
Oh, I appreciate that. But then that wouldn't be for us.
I
The
understand.
legislature can decide that.
I get it, but it's still within our purview.
Well, it's a trickle up, basically where it all starts.
Trickle up.
You know, because you get the employees start getting, and then it goes up the ladder instead of down the ladder.
I understand.
So right now,
Well
it doesn't
said.
say it on our paper, is the DA and the county attorney and the public defender all within, are you right there with them?
Well, yes, I am.
I'm just making sure.
Currently, I am.
But if we take more action than the legislature, then that could change, is what you're saying, right?
But I'm going to argue the other side of the coin, though. And I love Michelle, she's my friend, and we work together. But, I have 4 counties that I have to run for office in with 1,300 cases currently in my office, and the public defender's running about 500 or so felony cases. And so there's the concern I have. Maybe I should quit and apply for the public defender's office if Mr. Moore retires. So there's the concern I have. Somewhere in there, something's not adding up on the responsibilities and workload. And so I just caution the court to be careful of that. I'm topped out by the legislature and get no more unless they change their mind. And the last time the legislature changed their mind, it took them about 10 to 15 years to give us a raise. So,
I think it's been 15 years, so.
and so that's my concern.
To your point, Commissioner Byerly, that's not our concern, but we do have to manage the resources that are in front of us.
No, I get it. I understand.
Well, in discussions, since we've started this, it's kind of hit every elected official. Because we're going to have, if it keeps going in elected officials, it's I guess a rocky road or a slippery slope. So if you're going to give yourself a raise to keep above your employees, you know, they keep going up and we don't, well, pretty soon you're going to have employees that are making more, or at least comparable or right there at the elected officials.
Correct.
That, to Mr. Thomas, the DA, to his point, then you're kind of stuck.
Anybody else?
Alan Trevino, Chief Deputy. Isn't it the purpose of the boards to help make those recommendations? And ultimately, it's y'all's decision, but the boards are making a recommendation, and apparently two of the boards have already made a recommendation to do the 4%. Y'all are just determining the other, and they do meet yearly, and so that is something that can be adjusted on a yearly basis. And so you're really just determining this year. And like I said, I think the reason for the board is to provide a recommendation, or why have them?
Thank you. All right. Okey-doke. Is there a motion?
Do we need one on this, or we just,
Well, we got to, no, you're right. I can go ahead and.
Propose it or
I'm gonna
plug these
propose-
numbers in?
I'm going to plug in the 4%, and then we'll adopt it, or look at it with the full budget. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right.
Do we need to address B?
Oh, I thought we'd already, I guess that was the one I thought we did last meeting. Madeline, did we do that? We didn't vote on it? Okay, so I misspoke earlier that thought we had already done it. Okay.
so that one we have to vote on?
If you, yes, if that's what we want to do, then it goes back to Commissioner Byerly's, because right now these jobs are listed with step and grade for FY '26. So, thank you for catching that, Commissioner Dockery. I apologize. I really thought we had taken that up a few weeks ago.
And so just to be clear, I'm not saying that the boards, I was just making sure that they were looking at all the angles. If that's their recommendation, then, I respect those boards and the effort they put in. So I didn't want my questions to seem as if that was not the case.
I don't think that was certainly taking that away.
Okay.
I'm not sure, they wouldn't have recommended more if they had the opportunity, but what we presented was to address the recommendation to the Commissioners Court for wage and salary.
So an action on B would just relinquish them to their committees, right?
That's
Or
correct.
their
They're
boards.
individual boards, the Election Commission and then the two boards.
And if we're going to vote on that is, I guess, what's your opinion? Do you want to be off of the step and grade and just be a set salary?
I'm not sure, frankly. Michelle Moore, Chief Public Defender. I get that if we keep in with the step and grade, that would help, I think, I'm not going to be here forever. It would help you be able to hire somebody, it seems like, in the future. Same with those other positions as well. It also seems to like, I get the argument that, the people underneath us may catch up with us on. So I guess I'm more in favor of keeping with the step and grade.
Go ahead.
I agree.
Go ahead, come up here.
Tamara Tenney, Senior Magistrate. I agree. I do worry that eventually, just like all the elected officials have been saying, our employees are going to catch up with us, and it's the same thing. Like I said, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I think that'll put Kristen, not at what I'm making, but within a few $1,000s, which means that next year she would pass me up, most likely with COLA. So I'm not sure which way is the best way to go, but it does seem like step and grade would keep that from happening as quickly.
Okay, thank you.
And Commissioner Byer, is that kind of why you were looking at it, or?
We've unintentionally and created problems by some of these singular votes and not looked at the broad enough picture at times. I'm not saying this is one of them, but it could be. I just want to make sure that I'm asking enough questions. I mean, the trickle-down effect, you know, trickle up, whatever it is, trickling, ripple, you call it what you want. It's happening, and it creates a problem, and sometimes we don't realize it sitting here until we leave, and then we realize it really quickly.
Vicenta Stafford, County Clerk. I do not sit on either of the boards, but my only concern is, because Judge was under the understanding y'all had already removed them, did they know there was an option to still give them more because the step has not been removed? I mean, y'all are taking action to remove the step and grade, but in the meetings yesterday, did they assume that the COLA was all they were able to give? Would they have given a step had they known it wasn't removed yet? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because the judge was under the understanding that that had already been removed, so I don't know if that was what was relayed to them, that they're not eligible for step and grade, so they need to give them a COLA. So would they have gone with a 6% COLA or a 4% and 2% had they known that that was still an option? Because y'all had not taken action to remove it. I believe what y'all had done was just took out their positions in the figuring, and y'all were going to revisit it after you made the decision. I just don't know if those boards would have made a different recommendation had they known these positions still had the ability for step and grade. Does that make sense? Okay.
And that did come up in the public defenders meeting, board meeting, and that's what I was under the impression that it was the 4% COLA, not the step, so.
What's your recommendation again?
Well, for to be clear, these are 3 statutorily created boards. They're not the same as an employee, and they've been treated like an employee, as if everything applied. And so in the public defender's statute, it doesn't actually create a board like, and magistrate doesn't create a board. The Elections Commission is a commission set in statute, but the process in the public defender statute does lay out that it's hired by the commissioner's court, and then the policy has always been or for especially for state funded is that you go ahead and try to set up some sort of oversight board, and that's what they've been doing since it's created, correct? Yeah. And so,
Yeah, I'm all for that side of it. The other appointed position, have they given a recommendation on the auditor yet?
no, that's in August. Do you remember the date in August? I think it's the 18th. It's the 19th.
It's the 19th. It's the same day as
because
that
that's the
hearing.
day that I was going to go to the legislature set the hearing for the power lines. 19? Okay. Okay. But that one, I mean, that position has like a whole different set of rules that's hired by the district judges.
Oh, I know.
Okay, and then there's like a 5% threshold that if it stays within the 5%, there's really nothing we can say about it, so.
No, I get it.
Okay.
So I guess y'all are going to get with those boards and re-examine that?
That's going to be a heavy lift, Commissioner. I think we've taken the recommendations. I think you should, go ahead.
I just wanted to make a comment, Carrie Crownover, County Treasurer. I think the issue is lying with the addition of steps to our current step plan, which we have talked about at previous meetings. Adding the additional step to the ones that are currently at the max step is where we're adding that additional 2% instead of it staying at that salary range that has already been, that was decided previously. Just wanted to make that comment.
Thank you. these positions could be left budgeted at their current level.
I don't think that's what
I'm
he
sorry,
said.
I'm sorry. Oh, no, there's no, I'm just trying to make the distinction, or what I was trying to find, you've got these 3 statutes that have created these positions inside of county government. They're different than employees who are working, and there's
They're
a
not
level of
special, they're just
responsibility that's outside of the purview of the Commissioners Court. Like, we don't go do case checks, we don't do quality performance works on Michelle because she's an attorney, and we have a lot of, there's this whole thing that she's being supervised by the people by whose work she affects. Is that the right way to say it? The magistrate's the same way. She's got a body of work that none of us deal with, the judges deal with. So that's what I was working on doing. So it's just the pay that's a sticker. So
Can we put this on another agenda?
is it on tomorrow's? I don't think it is, but yes, we can put it on the 11th and revisit it.
If you don't mind, I'd like to.
In the meantime, I'm going to stick in some numbers for a
Okay.
draft budget, but not the proposed budget.
You can draft, yeah.
Okay.
I would like to do a little more research, and then if
Okay.
you need to do a draft, I would draft it on the recommendations of the board for now.
Okay. Okay, I call agenda item number 10, or I guess I'll make we're going to skip this until a future item unless there's an objection. No objection. I call agenda item number 10, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action for the use and calculation of the FY27 Burnett County proposed budget regarding the following departments. I'll just go ahead and call them up one at a time. The 33rd and 424th District Attorney's Office. That's A. Now you'll switch over to your books. Sorry for the late night arrival last night, but I thought it better to give you the opportunity to look at it late than not at all.
Give us a page reference number.
Yeah, so it should be marked as session 4.
Page
then it's
9.
Page
Or,
1,
yeah.
excuse me.
9 for district attorney.
Page 9, thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
9 and 10 combined, yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Good eye. Go ahead.
Well, let me begin this by saying it's good news and it's bad news. So let's talk about the good news. Let's just talk about this budget for a while. And then when that's over with, we'll talk about the bad news that we got. Or do you want me to give you the bad news first?
Well, as long as you follow it up with some lining at the end after your bad news, then go ahead and give that any way you want to.
The bad news is ultimately we've got there's a capital murder case that was pled in May of 2023, prior to my time in office. That case has been reversed on appeal, and a new trial has been ordered. And so we're intending to seek the death penalty in that case, and those are quite expensive. And so that's the bad news. We don't know exactly what it's going to cost us to try a death penalty case. We are working with the auditor's office now to try and get a grant from the governor's office. We've asked for up to $400,000 from the governor's office. We don't know if we'll get that or not, and even if we do, we don't know if that's going to be enough to cover where we're at, or what we may need. So that's the bad news. We did not put anything in the budget because we don't know exactly where we're at, if we're going to need money in the budget or not. The grant may be enough to cover it. We're also trying to get some help from the Attorney General's office to maybe help us as well. So we're very, very early in this process, and so we don't have hard numbers for you yet.
I'm glad that we know now.
And so just want to give you that heads up so y'all can have that in your mind and prepare accordingly. It may happen over the next year or two.
And that'll still be split between,
No, sir,
Or is
it's
that-
not.
if it
Burnett
happens in
County-
Burnett County, we have to,
Yes, sir.
And I'm assuming it was in Burnett County?
Yes, sir, it was.
If it was like in San Saba or somewhere, would they have to
They would have to fund
pay
it
for the
all.
whole blunt?
Yes, sir. They would.
Yeah.
But we have the opportunity to budget for that without, I mean, we could use set aside some fund balance for that.
Yes, or we could, budget it into this year's budget.
Correct. Okay.
That's the bad news. The good news is, we've really not asked for much changes in this year's budget. The only thing that we asked for additionally, for additional funding on, other than, of course, the salary increases that the court may give to our employees. The only thing we've asked for additionally is regarding our copying machines. We understand that the court went to a lease program. So we've got numbers from the auditor's office on what were to happen if our 2 copiers were to go down October 2nd, both of them conk out. So we asked for, we put in our budget, we requested $48,000 up from $14,000. Now that's a number that's split among the 4 counties. So that's the only increase that we've asked for in our funding.
And that's worst-case scenario?
That's worst-case scenario, Commissioner. The other thing that is out of the ordinary that we've asked for, and it really does not require a funding increase, though there's a couple of issues, Judge, that we'll visit with about the numbers. May have some disputes about where the numbers came from. That deals with cell phones. We believe that the cell phone number should be at $19,000. We've asked for 3 additional cell phones and then transfer 2 of the cell phones we currently have into that line item. That is not an increase in the amount. We can do all that we need to do with our cell phones with the money was been already previously given to us. We just need the court's permission to be able to move that money around and spend it like that. We are going to save you a little money, though, with that, because currently the 3 new phones we're asking for are going to our investigators. Our investigators currently get a $40 a month cell phone salary or supplement, cell phone supplement. That's going to go away. They won't get that supplement anymore, and so that'll save us a little money there. But we think that number should be $19,000 instead of $18,000 under cell phone, and that's line 4200.
So it doesn't need to be 52,000.
Well, I think
The
that was under
52
professional
is
services.
professional
The one right below
services.
that.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, 18,000, okay.
And just,
Where do you have that death penalty? Is it in here?
that would be well, it's not in here, but we would probably put it under professional services. Those, he would need experts, just various other people that would come in and augment his work. So if you see that 52, that's kind of his normal course of business for general professional services that he might call in from time to time. So we would probably want to put 2 or 250 in there as a placeholder for the potential cap, And I mean, what he's proposing, I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but the capital murder cases can be done in a year. It might be done in 5 years. They're just what they are. You have trial dates, you have defense, you have all kinds of things going on. And so all you can do is do your best to guess what you might need in advance, knowing you might need none of it this year. It might be in 3 years from now. So I just think of that Rodney Reed case in Bastrop where I used to live, and that's just gone on for decades now. Yes, God forbid. So.
But you're exactly right, though, Judge. We're going to need some money somewhere in the budget for both the state and the defense is going to need experts. And they'll need it within the next year, whether the case is tried in this fiscal year or not. And so in the future, we may need additional funding. We just don't know what it's going to be.
I'm assuming there's some costs associated with just leading up to that before you even.
There's investigative costs, there's expert witnesses and their travel and their time to prepare reports and do investigations, things of that nature. And then there will be increased costs for jury fees because there'll be such a large number of potential jurors to call for a case like that. And the length of a trial like that would increase the cost of jury fees. There's other probably investigative even if it doesn't go to trial in the next fiscal year, there will be costs.
And those costs will come out of that, say it's 400,000, the sheriff's office, the jury.
No, that's not usually how we do it, since we don't know that it's actually going to cost. We just have to build in the, we just have to build in to the individual budgets, because so there's at least 3 departments that could be affected. So we have a contract, I think we still have a contract with capital murder litigation out of Lubbock, so that would probably be the most qualified people. They'll handle the attorney costs and sometimes a fraction of the investigator. If they've stopped doing that, Michelle, let me know. But they used to do attorneys, investigators. But then in the courts budget, in the district courts, we have money for experts and mental health evaluations and additional counsel if required. The sheriff has a cadre of investigators, but usually they move it out into the they work it out within their budget, but then they come, like if they got hit with a really large expense, then they would come to us at that time. But the DA and the courts are usually where we have to try to do anticipatory budgeting.
But we can do that within professional services, right?
Yes, sir.
And then distribute as needed?
It is, now, professional services comes from my budget, that would be my experts and expenses I would need. You're gonna have to budget accordingly somewhere for the defense side of all this.
Right, that's what I was saying, that's in the district courts.
Budget. Got to put some money there so they can, the defense can get their money through.
But for now, we can put it in non-departmental services, professional services, and then transfer it when they need it, because he said it might not even be this year, right?
We don't know exactly where we're at. We're set for a staff's hearing August 14th to determine, maybe get a better idea of the trial date. But it's possible it might not be this coming fiscal year. But I will promise you, there will be expenses incurred this year.
Yeah,
The,
we just have to house it from somewhere, right?
the governor's grant that you all are,
Madeline?
the governor's grant that you all are submitting for,
Yes, sir.
does it have a match, or is it?
There's
just-
no match.
Okay.
No match.
Would it help if we had a match?
Well, we'll ask and see, because we're very early in it, Commissioner, so we'll see. We'll ask that.
Bottom line is, we can prepare for it, right?
Yeah.
And it- yeah.
Just him informing us, we can take action in both this budget and the court's budget. So, again, the capital representation office in Lubbock would handle the attorney's fees. And I think that they used to have some investigative, but the bulk of it actually comes back. So we end up paying on both sides of the equation, the defense side for expert witnesses, mental health, and
Right.
mitigation specialists and psychologists, psychiatrists, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
Then the DA can have its own operation going on the other side, so.
This is just a question, because I'm kind of inquisitive about it. What if they didn't, do they have to use a public defender? Or what if the guy hires his own lawyer, then what happens?
If he hires his own attorney, it makes it a little more difficult, but ultimately, a lot of the expenses will still come from the county. The legal fees would, of course, come from the private attorney. There may be some investigative, expert witness fees might come from the private attorney, but I wouldn't put any faith in that. Ultimately, for expert witnesses, it would still primarily come from the county.
I was just curious.
Sure, yes, sir. Good question. Good question.
And our office is currently on the case.
We're on the record here, so.
Amber Public Defender's Office, our office actually got appointed to the case
Okay.
last night. So we're currently on it as of now.
So no private attorney.
So it could be like a competition. I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Okay.
So, okay, anything else that you want to point out here?
The other things are just little numbers, disputes. We may want to just get together. I don't know how you want to handle this, Judge, but some of the numbers we thought were just a little slightly off. For example, under attorneys' salaries, the numbers we're seeing here say 783, 954.29. That's on the first page of your sheet. We think it's at 792, 372, including the proposed raises.
Where did I put 783? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
And you
Yes,
think
sir.
it's 792?
We think 792, 372.
I just, sorry,
And our
what I did was I just copied what the auditor and the HR have been working out, the actual, the
Right.
people who are here and calculating the new rate. So that's all
Okay.
I was doing. So,
Most of these things are probably numbers we all just need to sit down with the auditor's office. And
Yeah.
maybe sure we're all on the same
So, yeah.
page.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon, about 4 o'clock, I got the latest numbers from the auditor. She's been following along as we make decisions or make recommendations or whatever, and she's been plugging in the numbers, and that's what I pulled from her. But I'll make sure we get those worked out, so definitely let's look at those.
Okay.
So 792 is what you said?
Yes, sir, 792.
It's okay. I'll just-
372.
I'll just make a note.
Ballpark, yes, sir. On the next page, under, of course, we talked a little bit about professional services. Currently, Burnett County's portion of professional services at 52. We'll need to talk in the next few weeks or so regarding that capital case, how that's going to affect us. The telephone, we think it should be 19,000 instead of 18,000. And the copiers, we put in the 48,000 as a worst-case scenario. It's currently proposed at 14. We had put in 48 just in case both copiers go down.
Is that under operating supplies?
We have copier rental.
Oh, there it is. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that down there.
So you want to go from 14 to 48?
Yes, sir, that's the number the auditor gave us. If
That's
if
worst
our-
case.
Worst
that's
case?
Worst case,
That's if they lose both copiers at the same time.
Okay.
correct.
Okay.
It's going to be total, not Vernon's portion.
That's true. That good point. Thank you. That 48,000 is the total portion. So Burnett County's amount is
57, 52%.
57%.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So,
that's what?
Yeah,
same
this
thing
is-
with that 19,000 on the cell phone. Burnett County's portion is 57% of that 19,000.
Got it. Yeah, that's what, as I've been working yesterday with Western Towers and the judges in those other regions, it gets a little mind-bending
27,
about how
360.
we deal with these
Same thing on
multi-county
the phone,
agencies.
Yes.
it's 19,000.
Okay.
The next category is SB 22.
10,830.
Okay, can
Sure,
I
I'm
say
sorry.
one thing real quick?
Sure.
Actually, Commissioner Byerly, that probably is a really good idea, since a lot of this budget, and this is to you too, but I'm just kind of riffing off of his earlier idea, where this budget generally is the portion, in other words, we're trying to load in Burnett County's portion of the budget.
Yes.
And what Commissioner Byerly had mentioned earlier is maybe the better thing to do is put the money in non-departmental, and then when you actually incur those costs, you can come to the, and we just transfer the money in to cover the direct expenses. And for that reason is because most of your budget is going to be apportioned, and then if we have either we need to set up a dedicated account in one of these other areas that you already have that's just Burnett County,
Okay.
or we can load that money into a non-departmental account that's dedicated just for this purpose. Does that make sense?
It does.
So,
It does.
okay, so.
I think we can label it in the budget as such. to,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Protect it, if you will.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
an auditor question, but
Yeah, I'll
it just
work on
seemed
that.
easier to do it that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
With
I don't
the
have to worry
unknowns.
about the apportionment. That's
Correct.
That's the,
Because if it's there, and then if we end up getting the grant, then that's another line item anyway that it'll pull from to
Right.
reimburse or
Okay.
auditor stuff too, but same
Thank you.
theory.
Let's go down a little bit under SB 22, that's grant money. We're showing, Judge, it's listed just our total salaries together, 229,680. I don't mind leaving it like that, or should we break it into the individual categories, clerk, investigator, attorney? It's going to be on page 10.
Oh, that's the supplement?
Yes, that's one of our supplements.
That's SB 22?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So my question is really more of a, how do you want to list that? Do you want to list all the salaries together, which I don't mind, that's fine with us? Or do you want to break it into the categories of employees?
So did we have some trouble, maybe I'm getting my funds confused, did we have some issues with that earlier this year? Was that apportionment that we were trying to, we were thinking that your office thought that we had assigned, had budgeted the item, and then there was some confusion either between the auditor or HR about the employees that left or then came in, you tried to apply it. Am I making any sense here? We had to come back to Commissioner's Court.
I don't remember us coming back for something, but I don't know what
Was
it
that the apportionment? Okay. So, anyway.
Oh, I think what it was just who would get that money. It wasn't a change in the money, it was just what employees would get that money.
Yeah, I just want to be clear, this is kind of like what I said the other day when the sheriff was here. You know, this SB 22 is a grant directly to prosecutors. It's just like the sheriff. It's a different pool of money or different pot of money, but it's exclusive authority of the elected official designated under Senate Bill 22, or that's what we call it, is another section of law that actually controls it. But what we do with the sheriff's office, and I guess we'll probably need to do here, is we actually, help me out, but I think y'all turned in the apportionment for the budget in each line item, so we knew Bill, Sally, George, how much they're getting and all that. So I think that's the way. Shirley, do you have any comment on this, or just? I'll check with Kelly. Maybe we can circle back before we finalize it.
We can revisit this. I mean, we'll find the numbers. It's just a matter of how do you want to list it in the budget.
I think we're going to have, for our public as well as for our understanding, is I think we should do kind of what we did with the sheriff's office, or what the sheriff's office turned in, I guess is a better way to say that. And that's what we've been doing for several years. And I don't know that we've done this on yours, but let me look into it. Let's talk more outside of here. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't label that SB 22.
If you go down a little further now to District Attorney Chapter 59 forfeitures.
I don't know where I got those numbers, if they got loaded into me, but those are your numbers, and I certainly didn't mean to put any numbers in there. That's your prerogative.
We can visit further and straighten out, get a little better idea where we want to go on how we want to list it on this. If we go down to forfeitures, we have, it's $5,000 for clerical, and then $2,000 for investigator. Really, we wanted 0 for clerical and 3,000 investigator. But we can, if you want to leave it like that, we can just leave it like that and ask for a line item transfer later. Those are.
Again, I don't know how the numbers on the right got there. I was not trying to fill out anything, and I thought this was your request under EO department head. So.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, sir.
So just give those back to me the way you want them, because
all right. And then the last little area, Judge, would be on the apportionment. Down toward the bottom, you'll see a category called apportionment.
Correct.
We think the number should be $18,600. That's money we get from the comptroller's office.
Yeah,
directly to
I didn't
us.
mean to fill out those. I have no idea where those numbers came from. I didn't.
We'll
Late
get
at night, and
together.
I guess I was tired and copied something in there. I have no idea where that came from.
We'll get together and finalize those numbers and make sure we're all on the same page before it comes back to the court for a final vote.
That's fine.
So, that's the only increase that we've asked for, just really deals with the copiers. And then the big item, the capital merger case. And so, and I hope in the next few weeks we'll have maybe a little better idea of what funding
may be available from the governor's office and things of that nature.
Excellent. Thank
Give us some guidance, so. Any questions?
On the supplements that we didn't approve, I guess, your supplements mid-year last year, those will continue?
Yes, you're talking about at the very bottom, Commissioner, apportionment, or
I'm not sure,
which line are you on, Commissioner?
This is right here, it's
4892.
apportionment on page 11.
right, we didn't make any salary changes, there's just the supplement, right?
If it's 4892, that number's going to stay the same that comes to us from the comptroller. And so there's no,
Yeah,
we
he's-
just need to make sure the number's correct in that budget.
but are you asking a different question?
We didn't make any salary changes mid-year, those were
No.
supplement changes.
Yes, yes,
I just know it just keeps getting brought up and it keeps getting brought up, so I want to make sure that I understand.
that's correct. There's no salary changes. It was simply pre-approved money.
That's your money.
That's right, correct. And who was going to get those monies?
Okay.
That was the only thing that the court voted on.
So these are just for step and grade increases in the salary line item?
When you say these, what are you talking
Are
about?
you up on page 9 again?
I guess I'm on the front page, yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Yes, so that,
I'm not getting into the grant stuff, I mean.
right.
No, and when, the very first line for salary supplements, those numbers should include the step-in COLA increases.
That's the numbers I was given
Yeah.
from the auditor.
Yes,
And that, like you said, you think that the 783 should be 792?
yes, sir, we
Okay,
do.
and
but
I'll look at that.
We'll check it too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
Okay. Very good.
thank you.
All right, thank y'all. Appreciate
Okay.
it.
Line item C, probation.
Well, public defender?
Did I-
We did-
Oh,
we did-
sorry.
Oh, we already did? Well, the
No,
office?
I apologize.
We didn't, I thought we were doing
Just didn't have my glasses on yet. Imagine that.
So, Michelle Moore, Chief Public Defender. We don't have a great many changes that aren't grant-related. I do want to say, just to clarify, so Perry talked about the numbers. So just to let y'all
Page 7.
know, we cover 3 counties, so we cover Burnett, Blanco, Llano. In those counties, we cover felonies, misdemeanors, juveniles. We're about to add appellate, and we're about to have a mental health attorney. So we are going to cover a lot of facets in that. So in the budget, we have put in and been awarded grants for actually 3 positions. I'll start with the one that's covered 100%. It is not in here. So you're going to see an award for a position called a data analyst that we're going to split with, there's going to be 25 counties. We're in a pilot program. That is not in here at all because it is 100% covered. They are not going to be an employee out of Burnett County. They're going to be out of Culberson County, and we're going to work with 2 of their public defenders' offices with that position. And then the second one that we're adding is an appellate attorney, which was at the request of the judges. This is going to be, because it's a first-year grant and it's a step-down grant to a certain extent, it's going to be covered 80% this first year, 20% by the county, so 80% by the state. And then the third position we're adding is a mental health attorney because we're running into so many mental health cases. And so we're trying to come up with, I want somebody who can come in and come up with some ideas for the people that we're keeping in jail for so long that cannot make it to the state hospital because the wait is so long. There's many lawsuits out there going on throughout the state of Texas right now. We need to jump ahead of that. And so I anticipate that this person is going to work on that particular population. So that's what we're looking at. That is also a first-year funded grant, so it will be covered 80% by the state this year, so 20% here. So in our budget, you'll see a little bit of a jump on training cost, just because I have to include training with those folks. Dues, a slight increase. Most of that will be covered by the grant for those positions. I am going up double on gasoline travel, and part of that, I'm anticipating with the mental health attorney that they will have to, that they are going to have to be hands-on in the jail. So they are going to have to actually go into the jail. There's going to be many trips out there. I also anticipate that there's probably going to be a lot of seminars that they need to go to, that kind of thing. So anyway, so I am doubling that amount, but that's pretty much where those increases come about. I'm also, there's been some talk about this death penalty case that's potentially coming up. We are currently appointed. I can try a death penalty case, but it is a time sucker and it is awful. So we're going to see what the judges want to do with that, but we have it preliminarily. If it stays with us, I can tell you whether it stays with us or with the Regional Public Defenders Group, they're going to want to come in and do initial medical and neurological tests on this guy, and that is going to probably have to happen before the first of the year. So, because it's one of those things in a death penalty, you have to do it, or you're pretty much ineffective. So you have to have that. You must have a mitigation investigator now, or you're ineffective. So you're paying for an additional investigator. Typically, you would want the appellate attorney to come on board early in that process. I am going to put Nathan Kite in my appellate position, and he has done death penalty appeals before, so I anticipate that might be a cost savings for the county right there, because he would be a perfect person to come in as the appellate person for whoever gets this case. So I anticipate some cost right off the bat with that one, depending on how long it stays with us, but I can tell you with the regional group, they would do the same thing, so.
Is that appearing in the budget?
It's not. Most of our cost with defense will go through the court system. So we don't take them out of our budget. We would ask for that for the courts to pay for those costs. So, and I don't know if they have grant availability. In 2000, I was in the Texas 7 case. And so back then, there was grant availability for the courts, but I don't know if that's still the case now.
The indigent defense grants have been after the fact, and when they've had them available, you finish the trial, then we'll pay you back.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, now we go to probation.
Now we go to probation.
Okay, now probation. Lonnie? So,
Where's that at?
Page 14.
so on this one, you're currently running the weekend program, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then go ahead and say your name for the record.
Lonnie Rogers, Community Service Coordinator.
Okay. And so you're working part-time, and then we added a van and a trailer
Yes, sir.
this last year, and so now we have a contract person under here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And, all right. Is there anything else that we need to know about the request? It looks like just very small increases overall.
Yeah, if any. I will need another weed eater and blower at some point, but they can be handled out of next year's budget.
Okay.
They're not that expensive.
All right.
I'm a man of little needs.
Okay,
I make
good.
do with what I got.
And you've worked out with the commissioners to keep the stuff
Yes, sir.
cleaned up, and they're big help to our western towers as well, so appreciate all the work you've done. Any questions, Commissioners?
Just a comment. You said you have little needs, but you make a huge impact, so I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
I try.
He does that.
Thank you.
He does that.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1.
Take a small break.
Yeah, sure. The time is now 10:13. We're going to take about a 5-minute break.
JP1?
I guess we're back at the beginning, huh?
Page 1.
I still don't know where I can't
JP
come up with
one.
these numbers on this stuff sometimes, working late at night. I guess I've got, is it like texting while drunk? You know,
Oh, we're live, by the way.
I didn't say I did it, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't know what that's
These
like.
numbers are just,
Well, some of them look like they just transposed from the 26 budget all the way to the other side.
yeah, and I don't remember, I was trying to wipe them all out, but I guess I just forgot. So, okay. Oh, dang it.
Okay, Judge.
Okay, the time is now 10:17. We'll go back into session. Still on agenda item number 10, Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1.
Good morning to each and
Morning.
every one of you.
Good morning.
I bet you're glad you're almost at the end of this. My name is Roxanne Nelson. I'm Justice of the Peace, Precinct 1. Some of the items we're going to talk about today are for all four of us instead of each of us repeating everything. But the first thing I want to address is it looks like inadvertently my second clerk was left off of my budget. It looks like I have one clerk only.
Yeah, I caught that this morning. I sent it, before you had sent out, I'd already sent an email to Kelly seeing that didn't look right, and so I'll just have to wait and see what she plugged in, because we did switch that to full-time earlier this year, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But this doesn't even reflect what was
I
in my...
understand.
Okay.
I think she just missed it, and so again, I'm trying to copy her material.
And then we have notes in here about our request for our chief clerk to be reclassified, and then our other clerk to be reclassified. That reclassification is not calculated into your proposed budget. Is that correct, Judge?
That's correct.
So what we're seeing, that increase is for just the COLA and the STEP, correct?
Yeah, I tried to only put in what Kelly had given me that was
Okay.
adopted by the Commissioners Court through, like, the basic salary increases, the elected official increases, things
Sure.
like that. That's all I put in my budget.
Sure, just clarifying.
Okay.
So just to give you a little information about what our clerks do, Judge Whitehead just handed you what is a very detailed job description of what our clerks do. And so we want to come to you again and ask that you consider the complexity of a justice court clerk. If you compare to other classifications and like positions, our clerks do all of the positions. They're not separated into different departments. In fact, we are a standalone court, meaning that we don't have a prosecutor's office that helps us unless somebody pleads not guilty on one of their criminal cases. And we don't have a clerk's office, a separate clerk's office that helps us file, maintain, record documents. So we are a standalone office. And so we would like for you to understand that, and Judge Hurst is going to speak more to this, the volume of cases that we're hearing versus the number of clerks that we have and the complexity of the cases needs to be considered when you classify our clerks. They have not been classified properly ever, because it seems like there's a hierarchy of who you work for, not what your job entails in the county. And I know several years ago, we tried to adjust that, but it never got adjusted properly. I would really appreciate y'all taking a look at the job that our justice court clerks do versus what other departments are doing. Our clerks have to know law. They have to know criminal law. They have to know civil law. They deal with alcohol and tobacco cases. They handle juvenile and minor cases. We do Texas Parks and Wildlife cases. They have to know the law, the codes, the procedures for all of those things. It's not separated out into different people in different departments. They have to know it all. It's very complex, and I just like to have some opportunity to explain it to you in more detail in order to get them classified properly. So what I prepared was that long list of what they actually do, the duties that they do. They're our office manager. They're our executive assistant. They're our court coordinator. They're the clerk. They are our purchaser. They do the job of many people throughout the county, but they're doing it for us. And our caseloads have increased dramatically. Like I say, Judge Hurst is going to share that with you. And then Judge Whitehead has prepared an illustration comparing classifications. We're not talking about people, because we're not against people that we know and love having certain pay levels. But what we want you to do is consider the classification system that we have in place. This shows classifications for like positions, and I think it's pretty clearly delineated. which one is ours in green. But I'm going to let Judge Whitehead talk to you about that.
I wanted to make it as simple as possible to just take a quick look at it. And I sort of thought about it like when we're choosing our Costco membership. If you get the ultimate Costco membership, all of these checks are on here, and these are all the good things that you get with it, and it costs this much, and so on and so forth that way. So if you just take a look at this one that I've given you, it's real easy to understand. Of course, the 66, 67, 62, and 69 would be the grade and on all of those. And some of the duties that they perform, it's not all of the duties that our clerks perform. It's not all of the duties that one of the others performs. And again, it's not about a person. It's about being classified as they should be. And so you see the 66, they do some of the same things. 67 doesn't do nearly all of it, but that's IT. That was IT. I'd put that on there just to show that our clerks are also our IT support person. They are our executive director. They are our financial person when we need to order something. They are our court coordinator. It's easy if you just look at it and take a really good look at what all we have on here. And it's not to say that the others don't do like things, but as Judge Nelson said, our office has to do all of these things because we are a standalone office. We don't have 5 or 6 or 7 to do separate duties. Our clerk does all of it. They're changing their hat all day long. And the chief clerk, and you'll know that we're asking that they be reclassified as a 66, our chief clerk is our second in command, so to speak. It's like for you, Judge Wilson, it would be Maddie. She's your second in command, so she should be at a higher classification than a 62. So take a look at that. If you have any questions, I'm happy to try to answer whatever they are. But it's so simply done that it would be hard for you to not understand what we have on this one.
The only question I have is, or for right now is, you want them to go to a 66 step 5 or a 66 step 8?
All righty. Hello, Judge Hurst, JP3. I want to first of all say that we're all in agreement on what we all have to contribute to the budgets, and we're trying to stay aligned in that regard. And whatever we share, especially when we're comparing to other positions, we are not disparaging the other positions. We respect those that are in those positions, so don't get us wrong, please. Commissioner Collier, what did you ask? I'm sorry.
66 step 5.
Okay, so when we did apply with our budgets, we each had a different, we definitely wanted to increase them to the group 66 and group 63. As far as the steps went, we had different perspectives because each of our clerks have been there, different lengths, different strengths, and et cetera. So that would be specific to each individual. Yes, we would love to have in addition to getting them changed to the group we requested, was also requests on steps that were increased because of their good report, annual report when we review them. In an informal conversation before we got to here, after we submitted our budgets, it was suggested that we just ask for the change to the group and not so much the step. So, that is at y'all's discretion. Yes, as we applied for it, we would love to be adjusted to the groups in addition to the steps. But at least if we can get them in the group, that's a big goal because of the responsibilities and what they do.
So last year, we had similar requests, but there was a discussion about steps and grade, and what I had suggested early on is let's just talk about the grade, and then wherever somebody is in the step process, right? Because that's the way the step works. If you've been here 5 years or whatever, then you're at step 5. I think, please that may not be perfectly the way it is, but if you've been here 5 years, you're step 5. So if we just discuss the grade, then it might simplify the discussion, so we talk about what your, the work and the classification, and try to set aside somebody's step, where they are. The person who just started last year is going to be at a step 3 or 4, all right? Is that, okay, so that's all, it was just a suggestion,
Okay.
and I think that,
Okay.
does that help
Yeah.
you? Okay,
And that's kind of how I had it,
okay.
how I was thinking about it. so.
Okay, and so that, in our column, where we're asking for the staff, the clerk, to be increased to a group at a certain step, is that calculation for what we originally asked or for just to the group?
Are you talking about in my worksheet? Okay,
What was under EO Department Head Requested Budget column,
right.
it shows an amount there. Is that just for increasing them to the grade, or does it also include the step?
So I just took your numbers. So if the Commissioners Court decided to do something, then I would submit it to Kelly, and then she would give me the numbers to carry over that would put, or I guess, I don't know, are y'all working together, Shirley? Anyway, y'all would figure out where, so if they said, yes, we're going to reclassify and just to X, and Sally is of step 5, then the auditor would give me a number to carry forward into the budget. Does that make sense?
I think I
Instead of me
fo-
trying
I
to
think
do
I
the math,
followed,
because
sure.
I think what, and I might be wrong, but I think that this number, the one that says EO and department head requested budget, I think that's the number Roxanne put in here. Is that 10,000? Is that not correct? 10,192?
That'd be the increase from a 62
To a
to a
69.
66.
Or, yeah, 66, right.
Correct.
Uh-huh. That was my understanding, that I figured y'all had already calculated that, so.
I thought that you said that that was the COLA and the step that everyone is getting, not the increase that would occur if they were granted a change in
Okay,
classification.
well then I have to go back and find out where I got that number, because I thought y'all had put it in here, because I see on 2, it says 10,795. That's consistent. For 3, it's 10,192. So I thought that's what y'all were putting in there was.
Well,
the-
I know personally, I did not put a
Okay.
number in there because I didn't know how that would
All
calculate.
right, then I might, sorry, there's a lot of, oh, we did that? We went and asked. we- Got it, okay, thank you. So she just did the comparison. I apologize. That was me, us, sorry, there's a lot of numbers going on. I apologize. I'm trying to, when somebody asks something, I'm trying to put a dollar value on it, and that's where Maddie went and calculated what the difference between those two positions was.
So that's where that's what I'm, so if you move from a 62 to a 66, that's
About 10,000.
about $10,000.
So Madeline, was the grade increased? Is this figure,
Based off of the 62 to a 65, same step for FY '26.
okay.
This would be,
Because JP2 is a little more because they're a step 8 at 10,795.
And it's a 66, not a 65.
Because the way it's been working is as I get information for the draft budget, Kelly loads it into the worksheet. But in some of these cases, like this one, Madeline and I just try to figure out, well, what's the difference? And the reason I keep it over on the left is because I don't know the exact number, because Kelly and Shirley would have to calculate it for each
Because
position.
each of our clerks are at different steps.
I understand.
Okay. Yep. Yeah.
So-
Well, no, they're the same for each precinct.
so
This-
my
this
request
change
would have taken my
same.
chief clerk to 70,428.80. So
Again.
that's greater than the 67,808.
Oh, I see what you're
And
saying.
not calculated into that request of mine was COLA and STEP, because those hadn't been decided yet at the time I prepared the budget.
Right, and
So
so,
that would have been reclassification only.
so if I have a number for a clerk that you have there, then I pulled it off of Kelly's sheet that she sent me saying this 62 with a COLA and step that was 63,000 is now 67. Does that make sense? If it's over on the right, then I just went out, assuming no reclassification, and grabbed that number from Kelly and Shirley, giving me the exact number. If you have this employee in today, then, and based on the step and COLA, then I would have plugged in that number. but then what I didn't plug in, because there's too many variables that I couldn't figure out, but I tried to guess, Madeline and I were trying to guess that it's about 10,000, the difference. Looks like we're probably wrong.
Well, you
but-
gave me the 10,000, including my second clerk. That was for the COLA and the step, but there's no second clerk on my budget.
But like I said, on your budget, I caught, there was nobody here last night, so I caught it last night, sent an email saying, hey, there's a problem in JP1, can you go back and recalculate that? Because, and I forwarded you the email that I did last night when I.
So we're just clarifying that we did make a request for reclassification that's not reflected on the budget as of this time, correct?
It's reflected on the request, is what I've done.
On the
I don't know the exact amount, but I
He's
get.
saying it's acknowledged in the request, because this is under request, but he just plugged a number in there
Right.
closest to what it could be.
But some of them don't have numbers plugged into them.
Okay,
Like
well,
mine
I'll,
doesn't, mine doesn't.
The key is we need to make a decision on whether we want to adjust these group numbers for the two.
and
I'd
then
also
if,
like
for a
to add,
request.
I'd
Let's,
also like
let's
to.
don't beat a dead horse on that deal. Let's
Yeah.
decide whether we're going to move them from the groups and then, or at
Yes,
least
and-
for the purposes of budgeting, please let me finish. For the purposes of budgeting, if we're going to move them to those groups, and if we're going to move them to those groups, we're going to move them in the same step as what they're currently in.
Yes.
And that's what I'd like to do.
Mr. Dockery, I appreciate that. My apologies for interrupting you.
Thank you.
To the point that Judge Nelson had shared, what was in our budget was this graph to illustrate the number of cases that we do, as Judge Nelson was pointing out. We do over 70% of all the cases in Burnett County. We, for example, last year in Burnett County, and this is coming from the Office of Court Administration, their reports on added cases, because there is a ledger for continued cases, so this is added cases in an annual year. Last year in 2025, there were 5,973 cases that went through the Burnett County courts. Of those, 4,732 were in the JP offices. So just to help y'all understand the workload that our clerks do, specific to our plea for acknowledging what our clerks do and moving them to the correct pay grade as well as step to reflect what we appreciate and their hard work and wisdom and experience.
So, yeah, to Commissioner Dockery's point, if we move them to a 66, kind of the money will take care of itself.
Yeah, I'm about to say, we're arguing over all this stuff that will be calculated in the end.
Yeah.
And so don't worry about that, and I understand.
Do we need to vote on that today, or is that a,
We haven't voted on any yet.
but I
he's-
mean,
he's
do we
asking,
need to?
We
If-
voted
if-
on one last week, a change and a reclassification last week.
And we haven't let Judge Riley have his say.
I don't have much to say, other than my fellow JPs have very well covered everything, and I agree, Commissioner Dockery, it's just a matter of whether or not you're going to agree to change the classification or not. And I encourage you all to do that. I think our clerks perform adequately, wonderfully, and do all of the things that you see here in the green stripe, I think is the thing you kind of focus on a chart Judge Whitehead put together. So that's it. By the way, I don't know if we're doing anything specific on my court, but I do want to make a note. I've got a way to give you $2,000 back, which is the very first line item for part-time, 100-4540-1070. We haven't had a need for a part-time for some time, and it's been in the budget, and we can just strike that.
thank you.
And the only other thing I'm asking for differently is just to refresh our equipment, which is aged out.
Okay.
But anyway.
All right.
Were we able to accomplish that this year?
I'm sorry,
The
what's that?
equipment?
We have, so I had a list that came out with all the JPs and everybody, 147, but unfortunately, the issue we're going to take up tomorrow will, the price that was provided was so high, I couldn't include everybody, so I took the biggest tranches. Tomorrow, we will decide if we adopt the specifications, we'll be able to come back and pick up everybody who requested equipment. That was my original plan. In other words, to get it this year instead of trying to buy equipment next year. That was my plan. Unfortunately, we're going to address the specification issue tomorrow, and then maybe we can move and get
So
all.
are we talking about out of the refresh?
Well,
account?
there's two things going on. There's a refresh for next year, but you and I can't remember, I apologize, I had a really long list. A lot of people asked for new computers for next year. Madeline pulled together a list. The sheriff office, I don't know, you had 20, 17 total.
Yeah, there were a lot last year.
There was a lot. That were being asked for I want to be clear, that were being asked for in FY '27. I grabbed every one of those and brought them into '26. We actually allocated a bunch of it, but the price that's coming back is way above what I think we should be paying. We're going to deal with that in Commissioners Court tomorrow. And if we solve that problem, then everybody that's on the list, which I know you, I can't remember, again, I don't remember, I know you were on the list, but I don't, too. So we may be able to pick up all those in FY '26 and then remove them. My strategy was to looking at the tax rate and the very flat tax lines we have, I was trying to pick up everything that we would be paying for next year and moving it into this year while we have some money available. So again, we'll take that up tomorrow. Are there any, before I take up, I think we have a motion, so before I take that up, was there anything else in the individual line items, for instance, like?
Yes, I do. I do have one other thing, and it gets a little difficult to explain. If you'll go down to, I don't know if you have all of this still or not, that was in my budget
In the packet,
request.
no.
I'm talking about the juvenile case manager position.
I put a note in here on yours.
Okay, so I'm needing to add 20 hours
Well, it didn't look like.
as
Yeah, it's at the
part-time.
right?
Yeah.
The one at the school district.
Because as it looks right now, if you were to walk into my office, you'd say, you've got 2 clerks. But it's a little misleading because I have my chief clerk and I have a part-time justice clerk and a part-time juvenile case manager, which makes a full person. But that part-time juvenile case manager is partially funded by the school. And there is a fund, it is now called the diversion fund. It started out as the truancy prevention and diversion fund in '21, I think is when it was, I'm not sure. And you're probably aware of all of that. There are $5 collected off of every conviction on Class Cs, and that's put into a restricted account, which should be, when we started it initially, of course, there wasn't any money in the fund. But, and I asked for several years, how much money is in the fund? And the answer I always got was, oh, there's hardly any. Oh, we don't have much. And last year, at the beginning of the fiscal year, at the end of the fiscal year, right around that time, Kelly discovered that there was, in fact, $52,000 in that fund, but it was in Fund 100 instead of in a restricted account. So we took care of that. And so that $52,000, which can only be used for juvenile case manager or diversion, they changed it from truancy prevention and diversion to diversion because a lot of smaller counties don't have juvenile case managers. And so the money couldn't be used. And I'm simplifying this, okay? The money couldn't be used because there was no juvenile case manager. So by calling it the diversion fund, it can be used for like what we've used it for one time for the diversion cases that our clerks have to do. We've bought classes for the different diversion cases that we've had. We've only made one purchase out of that. We've made a purchase of $1,000 out of that $52,000. The $52,000 is now $64,411.71, which that comes from all 4 of the JPs for convictions for Class C traffic citations. And so it's building up pretty fast. It's certainly enough to pay the other portion of that 20-hour person because the school pays $15,000, and I've got the numbers in here. I think it's about another $15,000 that I would need to pay the juvenile case manager. we're already operating with the juvenile case manager. It's just that I don't have 2 full-time justice clerks, but I still have a full-time court, and I have the truancy court. So it kind of makes us, we're thin. We're running pretty thin trying to keep everything done when you add the extra court. Colleen understands how much that truancy court takes the time away from a justice clerk. So that's what we want to do. We want to add 20-hour part-time person. There would be part-time, and the money from the school, the $15,000, and the money that is currently in the diversion fund would completely pay for that 20-hour position. And then I would have my full-time justice clerk and my chief clerk and a 20-hour juvenile case manager.
Well, that diversion fund, it'll continue to.
It will continue.
To continue to fund that, but there's enough comes in
Yes,
to fund
it's,
that
like I
every year.
said, it started out at 52,000. A year ago is what I knew, 52,000. I took 1,000 out, and now I have 60. I say I don't, it's ours. I'm just giving you the numbers. It was 52,000. We took 1,000 out to buy classes for whichever precinct needed a class for a diversion, and it's now at 64,000.
But as we take that out to fund that position, it'll keep,
Yep, absolutely.
it'll keep funding itself.
Absolutely. People are going to still keep
Correct.
getting traffic citations, and we're still going to keep prosecuting them, or they're going to keep prosecuting them, and we're going to keep making money. So since October 1st of '25, we've added another, up through June, we've added another 11,000 to that fund. So that, I only have it through June. So we've got July, August, September to add to that as well. So it's I have it all broken down by precinct. It doesn't matter which precinct it is. It's just all 4 of us, and we all 4 can use it. The thing is, it can't be used for anything else. So it can't ever be used in the general fund or anything like that. It has to be used for programs for that type of thing, without just getting all the way into
And
every
this is
little
kind
thing.
of, maybe, I don't know, but all the other JPs, y'all are, since that's kind of a group fund,
We're happy that she's willing to handle all of that.
okay.
Okay, that's actually what I was
That
going to have. Would this juvenile case manager work for all 4, work with
No,
all 4?
she's mine.
Okay, all right.
All she's been doing so far is my office, because I do all of the truancy.
Okay.
Just the way it is handled, municipal court judge in Marble Falls has always done truancy for the south end.
That's where I was trying to make the connection, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Judge Price for years and years, and now Judge Pounds handles all of the truancy for
Got
the
it.
south end. Judge Whitehead handles all the truancy for the north end.
That's-
And so that's why we got the juvenile case manager. It was a big conversation between myself and Eddie and Colleen and the previous county judge and the previous auditor. And it started in '21 with that's when the counties and the municipalities also had to start collecting that $5 off of every Class C conviction. But they couldn't do anything with it except for youth and
And so
diversion.
but that's the school is giving you 15,000. What happens to the municipal funds for
Whatever
that?
they do with theirs, I think they have a teen court, but they don't do truancy.
Truancy.
So they can use theirs for teen court, they can use theirs for.
There's some other things that they might be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't worry
County
about
said,
that.
yeah. In other words, our money doesn't go to them and their money doesn't go to us. They have their own programs. And, but we've been doing it with just the people that we had, because that's just what we do. And that kind of goes back to how we've been bragging on the JP clerks. They just do what needs to be done regardless. They're just
Judge,
worker bees, for sure.
Thank you.
But, so anyway, that's my request, that I be given the 20-hour position. I'll find a spot for her to sit, or him, or whatever, and we'll figure out a computer once that happens, If I can always get one out of my technology fund if I need to for that, if it's not in the refresh. Do you have any other questions about that fund or anything else?
Okay,
I have a proposal for a motion.
okay.
I move to include the requested increases in grade changes for the JPs, all four of the JPs as recommended, moving them from that grade to the current step that they are in, to the new grade in that same step, and to add the 20 hours for the additional juvenile case manager for the purposes of budget consideration, to see if we can have enough revenue to cover these expenses.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by, okay, any other public comment or anybody else want to say anything before I take that
We
up?
just wanted to point out also that we were conservative in our request because they do the work of a 69, but we're requesting a 66 to be conservative.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So,
Carrie Crownover, County Treasurer. I just wanted to clarify, in our budget request, there was no motion and no vote on our positions to be reclassified or moved up in group, in grade, or step. Just to clarify that.
yes, ma'am.
And also wanted to make note in the additional position, currently the $15,000 is already going towards that. So I want to make sure that the court is understanding this will be an additional fund to her budget. Not just the 20 hours is going to be covered by the truancy diversion fund and the $15,000 from the juvenile case manager that comes from the school. That money is already going towards the individual who's already doing that work. So no vote was made for the four of us countywide elected officials on our budget request.
No, there wasn't.
So in the
That doesn't mean that it's not going to be considered in the budget.
Okay.
So back to my question from earlier, trying to stay consistent with my questioning. The 62, who are they leaving and who are they joining, and what is that going to have with other departments, I guess? What can we anticipate?
Go ahead, Mr. Trevino.
Alan
Chief
Trevino,
Trevino.
Chief Deputy. Same thing with the Sheriff's Office. No motions were made for the two that we presented at our opportunity to present.
Understand. Just let me finish this note, and then I want to turn back to your question, please. So the current use of the, what was that fund called?
Diversion.
Diversion, thank you. All right. What was your question again? I'm not sure.
Same
if I
as the other
understood.
ones, just what, if we make a motion today on this, what effects can we anticipate? Who's in a 62 now and who's in a 66 now? And just trying to, the same as I asked earlier, when it comes to this, what's going to come next if we make this decision today? I just want to be prepared.
Well, we still have the pending requests of the, go ahead.
Vicenta Stafford, County Clerk. So the people currently in a 60, administrative assistants, assistants elections administrator, assistants library director, court clerk, juvenile case manager for the Justice of the Peace, crime victim liaison for the Sheriff's Office, deputy county clerk, deputy district clerk, deputy tax assessor collector, deputy treasurer, legal assistant, victims assistant coordinator, and veteran services officer. For 62, animal control assistants for the Sheriff's Office, assistant county court at law coordinator, county clerk records management officer, JP court clerk, CCL court clerk, I don't know what that is, maintenance technician, and road and bridge technician. Those are the 60s and the 62s.
What's a 66?
A 66 is your chief deputy county clerk, chief deputy district clerk, chief deputy tax assessor collector, chief deputy treasurer, which I will make note all do those duties for the entire county, not precinct-based. Executive director, county attorney, executive director, district attorney, executive director, public defender, mental health caseworker, public defender, and senior internal auditor. And I am in agreement with Carrie that it is very wrong for y'all to motion to approve these without even considering ours last week.
Carrie Crownover, County Treasurer, just one more comment. To keep in mind that these positions weren't grouped or classed by any of us individually. This was done from a salary study survey from an outside company based off of job descriptions that were submitted. In the past, for anyone that was reclassifying or changing their title, job descriptions had to be submitted to the HR committee, including and indicating the changes that were being made, supporting the request that was made.
I wanted to say, on the 66, it is chief deputy, county clerk, chief deputy, district clerk, chief deputy, tax assessor, chief deputy, so on and so forth, executive director. Our clerk, our main clerk is our chief clerk. They do everything for us that each of these other ones in the 66 does for their elected official. So they are our right-hand person, the same as each of these others are. They're not an assistant. The 63 that we're asking the 60 to go up to is an assistant. It's an assistant chief deputy, assistant, I'm just going to say assistant because it's assistant on all of those. And our second clerk is an assistant to our chief clerk. So this compensation plan says under Schedule B, under these positions that we're asking that ours be moved up to a 66, that they are mainly professional and managerial positions. And every one of our chief clerks is in a managerial position. They manage our office, they supervise the other clerk. So I don't know who came up with this. I know there were a lot of problems with the salary surveys and things that they did, but I will adamantly say the chief clerks in our office should be under the 66 as a chief, not just as an assistant, because they are not assistants. They are our chief clerks. Thank you.
Judge Riley?
Frank Riley, Precinct 4, JPs. Not to talk all of this to death, but I just want to make 2 quick points. One is we're just asking for some parity with what our clerks do and the amount of duties that they're given, the responsibilities that they have. Number 2, with regard to that parity, Judge Hurst outlined to you the percentage of new cases is about 75% come to the JP courts. So whether a person is working 40 hours a week in a JP court, handling 75% of the county stuff, or someone is working countywide, it's still the same. They're still working the same number of hours, doing the same number of work. The duties are not significantly different. So anyway, that's my only point. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Good morning, Deanne Fisher, Tax Assessor Collector. I just wanted to point out that the county spent a lot of money. It was done through Evergreen, where they did classify grades, positions, and group them together. So with that being said, again, this isn't against any particular employee. I just want to point out that we're comparing chiefs to chiefs, but my chief has to take an oath. My chief has to step in if anything happens to me by statute, not just because she has a title, but by state statute. So it concerns me that we're just looking at, well, they do this and they do the same thing, so they're equal. In my mind, they are not. And why should my chiefs take on the responsibility and having to take an oath and know all of my duties and responsibilities if they can just go work in another department and get the same money? I mean, I think there's something that should come with the responsibility. Thank you.
Roxanne Nelson, JP, Precinct 1. Duties, responsibilities, and the difficulty of a job do matter. Our JP clerks have a very complex job. But in addition to that, we did do the salary survey, which was problematic from the word go, And those of you that were here during that time, you know that. We had to add additional counties in order to get a salary survey done for certain positions, but not others. Some positions, those salary surveys came from larger counties with higher salaries. Some positions came from smaller counties with smaller salaries. It was problematic, and about that same time, we also eliminated our HR committee that helped to guide these questions and these decisions. And I think that the wheels kind of fell off at that time, and we haven't had a lot of true consideration to what these employees do and the complexity of their jobs, and maybe it's time to start the HR committee back up to help with these things. Thank you.
Thank you. Any public comment? We have a motion and a second. Ms. Bullard, do you have anything to say to this? Wise choice.
I agree with Judge Nelson on the HR committee to vet this out. I don't really like this coming to us when there's valid points on all sides right now. Because we're going to get hit with, we're not going to be able to afford this, is the bottom line, when it all hits.
If it keeps going.
It's going to keep going.
Well, I'm saying, it's,
That's just, and this is nothing against your clerks or your position. I agree with you. But we got to figure this out. And if we do it one vote here, one vote there, and not vote here, and not vote there,
There's only so much money.
we're backing into a corner that I'm just afraid that we're going to,
That's the reason my motion said for the purposes of budget consideration. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It means that we put it in there, and if it doesn't, there's not money to fund it, it'll come right back out.
okay.
isn't that what we're doing with the list? Isn't that the list we talked about?
Yeah.
You withdraw the motion and just plug in the figures.
If you're okay with that, I'll do it. I'll do the work.
Okay, I'll withdraw my motion.
I'll withdraw the second.
Okay. Move forward.
But to be clear, I still want it plugged in to see what it's going to do.
Again, I said I'll do the work.
What is it going to take to reinstate that HR committee? I mean, I don't know, can we even talk about it, or?
Not today, but we can't talk about it today, but we'll.
Because there's some
get it an
way
agenda
we
item.
need to
Yeah.
revamp our,
Right.
because we have way too many reclass.
Understand.
Okay,
HR committee was never eliminated. It was just not utilized.
Who was on, who
We
was
can't
on
talk
or on?
Well, we
that
really
today.
can't.
We're
We're going to have to
We
stay
really
on
can't.
focus today.
Focus.
Yeah, let's take that up at another time. We'll see if I can get that on the 11th, okay? Okay, so we're going to set that aside. Thank you. Now, call item number H, County Attorney.
Good morning. Colleen Davis, First Assistant County Attorney. Basically, our request is very similar to last year.
Page 5.
We have very minimal changes, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
I guess same one I've had. There was a supplement for one of your positions, and now it looks like a salary change instead of the supplement.
Our request is that if that classification is recategorized, that our employee at that classification also be recategorized. If the other positions are not recategorized, then we respect that they are not recategorized.
I got you.
Okay, where did you see that? Because I'm not.
Which one is that? Yes.
Executive
I'm not
director.
seeing
That would be the executive director,
Okay.
It's currently at a 66.
currently at a 66.
The
Okay,
request
but
is for a
but it's not.
69.
But it's not in there, is it?
I don't believe that the
No,
math was
the-
put in our
no,
request.
the 315 that I put in is just current step and grade.
Current step
Okay.
and grade, yes. But if the 66s are recategorized, we would ask that our 66 also be considered for reclassification.
Okay. Thank you.
So I guess that,
Same thing. I'll put it on the list. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Call, any public comment on county attorney? Call Call magistrate.
Tamara Tenney, Senior Magistrate. So I really didn't ask for anything this year. The only thing that I noticed on what you sent last night, which we talked about on the phone, was the cell phone money was not listed for this year.
Okay.
But I will say now, here's that trickle up and the backing into the corner and all the things. My magistrate that's below me is at a grade 66. I'm at a 68. So when you, I'm sorry, I'm at a 69. So when you start moving them up, and then I've got a magistrate who, deals with also all the statutes, all the laws about every different type of case, all the new systems that we're using, and making sure everything is done right at the beginning and no rights are violated and everything else, and then she's making less money. Working in JP Court before, I know those clerks do a lot. I'm not saying anything that they're not, but it just like Colleen said, if others are being moved up, then we've got others that also need moved up as well.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Thank you. Any public comment? Any items to take up? Okay. All right. I call agenda item number 11.
Can we take one short break?
Sure. The time is now 11:04. Let's be back at about somewhere around 11:10. So about a 6-minute break. And
recorded back on?
I did.
Okay, good deal. Sorry.
Okay, come back into session. Time is now 11:09. Call agenda item number 11, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding Burnett County budget policy, fund overview, expenditure accounts, and descriptions, including the following sections. A is I, general policies. The maximum travel reimbursement will be according to the current fiscal year USGS Services Administration daily lodging, meals, and incidental expense rates. And so that's, again, this goes back into our budget policy at the front of our budget book. Right now, we don't have any standards for what travel reimbursement rates. Most county and state and governments use the GSA because it sets a rate based on your location, where you are. If you're going to Dallas, and Houston might be more expensive, so it changes the per diem and the based on the actual cost, and it's good for the entire United States, and then it gives the auditor some sort of
Guidance.
boundaries and guidance. So I really strongly encourage that we adopt this as in our general policies and add it to our budget policy.
What do we have as of right now?
Nothing.
But it's,
So for,
we just reimburse or we pay for, if we go to a conference, whatever the conference costs and those hotel stays,
Right.
and we just, whatever it costs is what we pay, correct?
Yeah, but you can choose whatever hotel. If you want to stay at the most expensive resort hotel in the city, you can do that, and there's no guidance. Yes, you can. And so this at least sets it. It doesn't preclude, like I don't know. I think the chief brought some. There was like a national conference that we went to, and then of course I think part of it was paid by CapCog. But we can. It doesn't preclude the Commissioner's Court that if you go to a specific kind of conference that you have to go to, that you could pay a higher rate. What it does is say, this is what is going to be reimbursed. This is what most departments do. This is why most governmental lodging things work so hard to make sure that they stay when you go to a conference. That's why they stay within a lower rate. And so again, we need
Well, I
to give some guidance.
haven't been here as long as
Yeah.
the other ones.
so what
But
happened?
when we have a host hotel or a group of hotels that they kind of put together, that's been my experience.
That's correct.
So you kind of all staying together and their stuff goes on at those hotels.
Correct.
Yeah, so if there's a difference in the GSA rate and the host hotel rate, the county will still pay for the host hotel rate because that's where the conference is?
The request can be made to cover the extra expense if they find out it's more than the GSA. We can still make choices to do that, but at least we know that the Commissioner's Court gets to have some control in what the costs are to make sure that we're good stewards. So most of the time, for
Well, most of it,
years-
no, go ahead.
Well, for years that I've been traveling, there's been probably 2 or 3 times where conference hotel rate was more, and I just requested permission to make sure that say there's 160. I mean, there's been a couple times I just paid for it out of my own pocket, but if the GSA rate was 160 and I did 180, I can either go back to my authority, get an exception, or you can just pay it out of pocket. So
Can we do a blanket exemption if it's the host hotel of the conference, then it's fine?
we can write that in there. So
I mean, because most.
Or one of
there's
the
benefits
hotels
to staying at the
associated
host
with it?
hotel.
sure, yeah.
Vicenta Stafford, County Clerk. I did look into this substantially just this week. Every single conference that I attended and that is offered for county clerks, not one host hotel or overfill hotel fit under the GSA. Every single one of them was over the GSA. And I will just say, as a female elected official, that I send females to conferences, I would like for them to stay at the host hotel instead of the Motel 6. To stay under the GSA. I mean, for instance, our Fairmont Legislative Conference is about $85 over the GSA. I feel that if we're going to conferences and we decide to blow our budget on a hotel that isn't sufficient and I can't go to another conference, that's on me as an elected official, that I did not stay within my budgeted conferences. We do a good job of saying, I don't pick the most expensive hotel, but I do try to get the host hotel. And that's going to be very tedious if every time we go to a conference, we have to come to you guys to say the host hotel is $40 more, can you make an exception? I would like to see, if you're going to adopt the GSA, that you exclude or make it where it's the GSA only if you stay outside of the host hotel. Because, like I said, I looked, and at our conferences, there's 6 host hotels, and out of all 6, none of them were below the GSA. So I just anticipate it's going to be a lot of work, nor do I feel the county attorney's office, not the county attorney, sorry, the county auditor has the time to, every time we put one in, to then go to that city's, look up the GSA for that city and then determine if our POs are not enough. It just seems like a whole lot of work for somebody to then come back, and we have to come back to you just to go to a conference that we have to go to. So that's my point.
Carrie Crownover, County Treasurer. I also looked at the same things. I'm going to make what Vicenta had said. And I also got some sample policies. So just to see what other counties are doing that do incorporate the GSA rate in their policies. And what I got back was either 150% of the GSA policy at 150% rate, or also included the host hotel in that. And then in addition to the agenda item that we're on, where it also lists the meal reimbursement, which currently we have something already passed where it is that daily per diem. And then the GSA, of course, fluctuates based on where that goes. So is that the county auditors that's going to watch that and see if we're changing that fluctuation, or is it just going to kind of go with what we're kind of currently doing with a set per diem rates for meals? That was just my question.
What did you say the percentage above the GSA?
150%. 150.
150.
Yes,
okay.
150, yeah. And that's just the policies that I was able to get back after seeing that this was on the agenda, and I reached out to other counties to see what they had incorporated. So.
Thank you. So I kind of like what Commissioner Byerly mentioned, is where if it's a conference that you're going to and it's the hotel, you don't have to deal with it. But if it's just other kind of travel or whatever, we can do the GSA. So.
Yeah, I don't know what other, I guess I'm not familiar with other travel except trials maybe and things like that, but,
okay.
We do, I don't think anybody has a larger travel budget than the sheriff's office.
We do, between the sheriff and I and different captains do conferences that have host hotels that are investigative or sheriff or chief or whatever. And so those all will have the host hotels, but 95% of the rest of our employees go to trainings that are in Houston, that are in Amarillo or in El Paso or in Austin, and those are at the rates that they receive. And you're talking just for, and I'm going back to what somebody mentioned about meals. If that's being considered here, that it also varies on if you're going out of state. That, if you're going to eat in San Francisco, you're not going to eat on our budget. You're going to get one meal out of what we get, and that's just the way it is. But there are definitely a lot of different trainings that are overnight that we're sending our personnel to that may or may not be just in Texas. We've sent some of our drone operators to Arizona to go do some new training, and so those were at a host hotel. But typically, there's not a host hotel. There's a host agency, and they just get a hotel room, and those are going to fall within the budget rates.
Okay. All right, so let me draft up a little bit more detail on this and give some examples.
Do you want to take up B? I'd like to take up B.
Yeah, okay, yes, okay.
I just wanted to ask one more question. Are we, as a county, included to participate in the TPAS or the STMP program just because we're a county? local government entity. One of the sample policies I also got was that they were a member of that, and so it gave them the state negotiated rate at the hotels.
Okay.
So just something else for consideration.
All right, thank you.
So we're going to skip A, or no?
Right now, let me give some draft policies and work with Treasurer Crownover, and let's see if, maybe we can get with the auditor and get some more detail of some of the issues that she was concerned about. So I'll bring that back on the 11th. So now I call agenda item number B. Number 2, revenue and transfer policy. Right now, our budget policy says $500. I'm suggesting that we line item transfer amount of $1,000 subject to auditor approval. So,
Move for approval.
okay. All those in favor? Wait, no,
Unless
hold on.
everybody wants to have a fit about this one now.
Yeah.
Everybody want to have a fit about this one?
So anyway, that way the auditor can make a $1,000 adjustment instead of $500. Is there any public comment? All right. Is there a second to Commissioner Dockery's motion?
Second.
Okay, Commissioner Byerly. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. I'll make that change in the book. Fleet policies. I met with the sheriff. We got I think I've got a strategy. I'm going to ask the county attorney to modify the language on I think it's number 2 on the end of our budget book. The last page of the budget book where it was it says no vehicles shall be taken home without Commissioners Court approval. We'll need to do an exception to the law enforcement on that item. And then we need to go into the employee handbook and where it talks, there's quite a bit of language. We'll get with, we'll create a draft to send over to the sheriff. But basically, some of the stuff we were talking about the other day with lowering the mileage and cleaning up our fleet policy and our take-home policy and some of those other issues that are currently in the and Chief, if you have any suggested language, if you just send that over to the county county attorney, and let's see if we can propose some draft language here in a couple.
And I just wanted to add that since the last time when we met during our presentation, the Sheriff's Office has added to our current policy and also created an SOP that we're in the approval process of saying what our mileage will be once that is done. And the fix that you're talking about is basically exempting the Sheriff's Office from that take-home.
In the budget policy?
In the budget policy,
right.
yes, sir.
Okay.
And so, yes, sir, and us coming to the Commissioner's Court and saying, this is what we're doing on a yearly basis.
You're right.
This is our policy, whatever our mileage is from the county line and moving in that direction.
Perfect.
Can I add one?
Yeah, go ahead.
The other question was about the mileage. Is that going to be on a different?
That's not on the agenda today.
Okay.
Just this fleet policy and getting our fleet policy lined up with our employee handbook.
Okay.
So that's all we have to
Is
talk
there
about today.
and then I would add, because during that presentation, you had also asked that we present something that we're asking the mileage to change. Actually, it might have been Commissioner Dockery.
Yeah,
but,
we're still pitting that, so.
But am I going to need to ask for that, or is it going to be something that's going to be put on the agenda as?
That's still something we were considering in the budget policy. We took that up the other day. We've identified the issue. I'm still working on it. You can give me whatever you have.
Absolutely, if you don't mind, I'll give you what we prepared.
But yeah, well, we can't take it up today, so.
I understand.
Okay. So can I get that from you later, if that's okay?
Can I give all the members a copy?
That's fine, sure. We're right here.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I call agenda item number 12, discuss, did I miss something? No, okay. I call agenda item number 12, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action regarding the Burnett County Personnel Policy and the Employee Handbook on the following sections: 7.06, County Vehicle Usage, General Guidelines, Commute Vehicle Policies and Rules, and that's where, again, Ms. County Attorney, Assistant County Attorney, we need to make sure that we have a clear perspective on the law enforcement, where it's either exempted in our employee handbook per the policy adopted by the Sheriff's Office or something like that. Does anybody have any objections to that? Does that make sense to you, what I'm trying to work on? Is that there's a whole slew of statute that is about law enforcement vehicles and other things, and we want to get that, we want to make our policies line up with some sort of rational strength, okay? On call agenda item number 12B, 2.06 in the personnel manual, working hours currently, there's a standard 40-hour standard work week. I just want to consider adopting whether appointed officials are included in that sentence. So it's employees and appointed officials, just to make sure we're clear on a minimum 40-hour work week. Since appointed officials do get leave, or obtain leave. We can do that today, or we can do it later when we adopt the full budget menu, whatever you want.
I'd move to approve 12B.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we adopt minimum working standard for appointed officials. Commissioner Dockery and Commissioner Luther has seconded. Any public comment? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Lodging cost, anyway, we'll take that up again. So that's I was trying to decide where to put it in the employee handbook or in the budget policy. So, okay, I call agenda item number 13, acknowledgement and receipts, Marble Falls Quarterly MAS Report, letter regarding the Federal Highway Association Relief Fund for the FY26, compliance with I guess these are the closeout report that we got back from the Treasurer, U.S. Department of Treasury. We've got TCQ, Capital Area Council on Government's notice of membership dues. I'll have to put that on the agenda probably on the 11th. I think City of Burnett for the notice of survey in our alleyways behind the 127 and 133 East Jackson. Appraisal review plan, the adopted FY27 budget, PC connections, and certification of appraisal rolls. Any comments or questions about that? Is there any calendar review items? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved. Second.
Okay, Farley moved, Luther seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes.